Xi'an for the latest epidemic update in Hubei Province. As of May the 12th, 2020, total number of confirmed cases reported in Hubei stand at 68,134. 50,339 cases in Wuhan City, 17,795 cases in other cities. On May the 12th, 2020, number of new confirmed cases in Hubei, 0. No imported cases reported in Hubei. Except for Wuhan, other cities in Hubei Province reported no new confirmed cases for 69 consecutive days. As of May the 12th, 2020, number of existing cases, 6, all from Wuhan City. 1 in severe condition, 1 in critical condition. 0 suspected cases reported in Hubei Province. Total deaths in Hubei Province stood at 4,512. Total number of cured and discharged cases, 63,616. On May the 12th, number of newly added asymptomatic cases, 6. Non-developing to confirmed cases, 14 cases removed from quarantine. 598 cases asymptomatic patients are still under medical observation. Now let's give the floor to Mr. Zhou Qingping to brief us policies to support the protection of natural resources and boost economic and social development. Friends from the media, good afternoon. First of all, on behalf of the Department of Natural Resources, Hubei Province, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to all the reporters for your long-term support and attention to the development of the natural resources. Recently, the Department of Natural Resources of Hubei Province have issued measures to support protection of natural resources and boost economic and social development. Now, I would like to brief you on some of the background to issue such a measure policy. The provincial government has attached great importance to stabilize the development and stabilize the investment. We have to do what we can to protect the natural resources and facilitate the implementation of all measures to making sure that we have sufficient land for key projects. So natural resources are the key to support the development of the economy. So in order to protect the natural resources, we can extend the investment and so it laid a solid foundation to ensure the stability. So in better protecting the natural resources, we can also help to coordinate epidemic prevention and control with the social and economic development. Since the outbreak of COVID-19, we earnestly implement the decisions made by the CPC Central Committee and the State Council. We place equal emphasis on epidemic prevention and control as well as the social and economic development. We are making sure that we are doing a lot of work to facilitate the registration of the real estate and provide sufficient support for the land use service. Our department have fully analyzed the land use plan and fully studied all the measures that we have. We have provided a land use plan to over 30 key projects in Hubei Province with the total size of 62,000 mu. We are seizing all the opportunities and seize every minute. We are making all-out efforts to facilitate the construction of the key projects and to implement the key projects which are listed in the 14th five-year plan. We also focus on the upgrade and transformation of the plan of the state-owned land we are making a long-term plan for our initiative. So we are focusing on the short-term as well as the long-term initiative so that we can contribute to the work resumption and boost the social and economic development. For all the measures, we are actually providing a lot of optimization of the resource factors so that we can lower the cost of the enterprise resource factors and improve the service efficiency, so that we can make sure that the natural resources can contribute to the economic development. So we will focus on the following 4 areas. First, we coordinate epidemic prevention and control with the social and economic development. We are coming up with the short-term as well as the long-term plan. We're making sure that we can offer sufficient land to facilitate the construction of epidemic-related projects. And second, the provincial government have made a lot of investment to support the construction of key projects. Amid the epidemic, we are also obtaining several preferential policies from the provincial government. And also we are making a lot of efforts to attract investment so that we can fully implement all the key projects. So our objective is that we have sufficient land that can be provided for the projects. And also we are providing some door-to-door services to making sure that we attach great importance to the projects and our land is ready for all of the projects. And fourth, we are focusing on the innovation. Within legal framework, we will make a lot of innovation of the existing measures, making sure that all the key projects can be implemented. And also we are protecting the ecological red line. So I will summarize all of these measures in 4 aspects. And first, we are doing what we can to provide support for the key projects. We are making sure that the construction of the epidemic-related projects can be implemented in time. So some of the land can be used in advance before the approval. And for some key projects, they are allowed to take up some of the farmland and ecological protection red line. Against the background that we will protect the ecological conservation red line, at the same time we will reserve some land for some major key projects. And going forward, we will also extend the scope for the use of the land in the farmland as well as in the ecological conservation red line. Second, so we support that people can select the land online, and we are making sure that all the land are ready for projects. In order to provide better land service to entrepreneurs approved by the provincial government, local governments from across Hubei Province, they could select land on our official website. So all of that land is available online, and the enterprises can select the land they want from the internet. Also, we streamline the processes for the approval of the land use, making sure that once the land was sold or offered to the enterprises, some of the key projects can be implemented at the earliest date. So we will make more investment to offer more land to the public. Third, we aim to reduce the cost and improve the efficiency. We will continue to improve the business environment. So by doing that, we allow the enterprises to pay the land transfer fees in installments. We are also offering deferral payment scheme for the enterprises to pay for the land transfer fees. And also we are lowering the bidding deposit for land transfer. We are also reducing the rent for the state-owned land, reduce the cost of mining, and also we are encouraging the enterprises to tap the development potential for existing land. And also we are offering surveying the mapping services to the public. And right now we are allowing all of the real estate mortgage registration can be completed on the same day. We are streamlining our processes so that we can accelerate the process of the mortgage registration for the real estate. So we will also extend the registration service for the real estate mortgage to the banks. So making sure that all of these services can be processed within 3 days. Fourth, we are making sure that we can provide a good service of the land use. We'll stick to the contract and provide land use service to the public. We will alleviate the burdens for the enterprises. In order to fulfill these tasks, we have contributed a dedicated web page to provide land use services to the enterprises. We will understand the needs from the enterprises, and we will come up with land use plan to specific enterprises. We will also establish a dedicated task force to offer land service. So we have 1,400 officials. They will provide services to 1,122 projects, making sure that all of the land projects can be implemented in an effective way. So we will resolve problems, the land usage problems for 785 enterprises. We have already granted land with the size of 116,000 mu. With the publish of this policy, we can improve the business environment and also boost the confidence for enterprises. By rolling out all of these measures, we can lay a solid foundation to restore the social and economic activities in Hubei Province. Now is the Q&A session. Please identify yourself before you raise the question.
好，各位领导好，我是人民日报的记者。
With
刚
People's
才
Daily,
听这个咱们出台的这个措施里面啊，有这个现行用地开工必保。我想问一下，
realized that in one of the items
它这个到底是怎么样
for the measures that has been ruled out by the government, that is to support the construction of the epidemic-related projects. And so I would like to understand what concrete measures has been taken by the government to make sure that all the land can be offered to the key projects. So actually, I'm referring to the epidemic-related projects. So during the epidemic, we're actually resolving a lot of urgent projects. For example, we have offered land to 33 projects amount to 3,718 mu of working site. And also we are opening up a approval window on the website so that people can apply for the usage of the land. In order to speed up the restoration of the economic and social development, we will focus on the following work. First, for the land use plan, for epidemic-related projects, all of the resources will be coordinated by the provincial government. So these projects are eligible to apply for the prior use of the land. For example, it covers some of the bridge and the train station projects. So after 6 months of construction of the projects, these companies can provide required documentations within 6 months. As for infrastructure projects, as long as they kick off the projects within this year, some of the land use plan will be reviewed by the provincial government. Thank you. Next question.
谢谢主持人，我是来自中国新闻社的记者。那么在刚刚介绍的时候有提到云上选地和地等项目这两个概念比较新颖，能不能为我们介绍一下具体是如何实施的？谢谢。
So right now our target is to making sure that we have adequate land for key projects. Can you tell us more about this initiative? So by doing that, we will fully tap into the development potential of existing land. We will look into all the vacant land available in Hubei Province so that this land can be used for investment, so that it can shorten the time of the implementation of the projects. Currently, we have approved a large amount of land that can be used for projects. So in our department, we will publish a list containing all the land information, and also we will publish the land information to the enterprises and investors. So in the near future, all of these investors, they can select the land online, and also they can complete the transaction online. By doing that, we can offer land in a transparent and partial way. And this year, we have establishing many online platforms to sell land. So altogether, we are able to sell land with 130,000 mu. So the land use investors are coming from different sectors or industries, and some projects are based in Wuhan city. And second, we will accelerate the land transferred in Hubei Province. And also we will streamline the process for the enterprises to transfer the land. After they complete the process, they don't necessarily need to visit the service hall to complete the transaction. By doing all of that, we are making sure that all the projects can be implemented at an earlier date, and all the projects can meet its maximum capacity. Thank you.
你好，中国日报记者提问，我们想了解一下，在稳定建筑石料供应方面有哪些具体的措施？谢谢。
My question is about the stabilization of the supply of the building stones or building materials. What measures have we taken in this regard? Because of the change of the supply and because of the supply relation has changed for the supply of the building stones, the provincial government have attached important importance in this regard. So back in 2019, we have invested 37 mines in the province. We are also making good use of the tailings. The annual capacity of the mine is about 211 million tons. Start from this year, we have established 334 mines. The production capacity reached 177 million tons per year. Going forward, we'll invest more mines. If we're considering the capacity of the tailings and the building stones offered by the enterprises, the total capacity of the building stones reached 373 million tons per year. Now 224 enterprises who provide the building stones, they have already go back to work. And in the future, we will focus on 5 areas so that we can ensure that we have sufficient supply of the building stones. So first, we will guide the localities to review the production gap in the upcoming 3 years. And then we will provide more supplies to different sectors. And also we are providing customized plan to individual mines. We are encouraging these mines can start the production as soon as possible. And also we will make a comprehensive usage of the tailings so that we can turn all of these disposal tailings into treasures. So for the construction materials, if necessary, all of these construction materials can be sold to the market. Fifth, we will provide support to key construction projects. And the people can conduct mining on their own so that they can ease their pressure in purchasing building stones from the outside market. Thank you. So my question is about business environment. So my question is what measures has been taken by the Department of Natural Resources to improve the business environment. So I just talked about the real estate mortgage registration process. So what we are doing is trying to improve this business environment. So as for the real estate mortgage registration, start from last year, we are able to complete the registration within 5 days. And all the registration services are streamlining their processes so that they can improve their efficiency to complete the registration for the real estate. So we are also exploring the possibility to set up service centers in the banks so that the mortgage registration can be also processed in banks. So enterprises can go to the bank and complete the transaction and complete the registration of the real estate. Right now, we have set up many service centers in the banks. And right now, all the mortgage registration can be completed within 3 days. And also, we are encouraging cloud service. Some of the platforms are available on provincial government's official website. We are also providing some conveniences to the enterprises. We are also giving special treatments to special issues, and we are also giving priorities to urgent issues. By streamlining the processes, we can improve the efficiency of the processing of the business. We are also combining different types of certificates and the license. Such reform can also provide support to the land use of the enterprises. Also, we are streamlining our processes for the approval of establishment of the small and micro business. So for many licenses, and the enterprises can only fill in one form in order to complete the business. But we still have some weak links at this stage. Going forward, we will address to all of those problems and challenges. We will also focus on a result-oriented approach to resolve all of these problems so that we can improve the business environment and bring in more investment in Hubei Province. Thank you.
你好，我是来自湖北之声的记者，想问一下，
Voice
刚
of
才我们
Hubei.
了解到重大项目建设和生态红线之间存在着诸多矛盾。
My question is that now we do see some contradiction about the construction of key projects and the ecological conservation red lines. So what measures have been taken to resolve this contradiction? Thank you for your question. So for the Department of Natural Resources, on one hand, we have to drive high-quality development. On the other hand, we have to protect our ecological environment. So right now, we are adjusting the criteria ranking for the ecological conservation red line. We are also making use of all the available policies to address these issues. We have done the following. First, we are trying to obtain some support from the national policy, especially for some epidemic-related projects. If they have to take up certain farmland and ecological conservation red lines, these key projects are allowed to take up this land. And for major infrastructure projects, if they can't offer eligible documents, so the application to take up the ecological conservation red line can be submitted to national level for further approval. So right now, several projects have applied for this certificate, and they are applying for the land use. Third, we will review our criteria of the ecological conservation red line. We are fully considering the actual situation and review the current situation of the conservation red line. We will find out all the contradiction or the tension between farmland, the red line, and the key infrastructure projects. And we will adjust the red line for the ecological conservation. We will follow a green philosophy and readjust the scope of the red line. And also we have to consider that we have ample room for sustainable development for the province. Last question.
主持人好，我是湖北汇报记者，提问一下，就是这
With
个为了
Hubei
服务
Daily.
这个经济社会的快速恢复发展，那
In
么作
order
为职能
to
部
restore
门，
the social
就
and
是
economic
如
order,
何
my
降
question
低
is
这个土
that
地用地成本，
what measures
服务
has
那
been
个乡村
taken
隐
by the
居呢？
Department
谢
of
谢。
Natural Resources to reduce the cost of the land use? Thank you. Thank you for your question. In order to reduce the cost for enterprise resources factors, we have established a series of measures. First, we reduce the cost of the land retrieval. For the enterprises, they can pay the land transfer fees in installments, or they can pay these transfer fees on a later stage. And for land transfer that related to the epidemic-related projects, some of the fees can be exempted from the collection. Second, we will reduce the usage rate of the land. So the company, all the enterprises can make an application to reduce the rent for state-owned land. So we also encourage the enterprises to tap the development potential for existing lands so that they could put these idle lands into work. Third, we are reducing relevant taxation fees. For enterprises who are badly hit by the epidemic, the property tax, urban land usage tax, and the deed tax could be exempted from the government. And also, if the companies are affected by COVID-19, they can make a deferral payment of the earnings of the transfer of mining rights. And overdue fees will not be charged for these enterprises. For enterprises who are able to pay land transfer fees because of COVID-19, and these enterprises are not be included as violation of the transfer regulation. And also we are offering installment arrangement for these enterprises to pay the land transfer fees. And the first installment should be no less than 50%. And also we will adjust the basic price for the land transfer fees. If the basic price is high, so that they can pay the land transfer fee in different stages. For example, for a project, it needs to use 1,000 mu of land. If each mu, we charge them with 300,000 yuan, so they have to pay the land transfer fee as 300 million yuan. However, if this project is included into a priority list of the provincial government, or if this project is anti-epidemic related projects, then they can only pay the fees by 70%. So that is to say they only need to pay 210 million. And for the first installment, they could only pay 100 million yuan. So by doing that, it can reduce the pressure for the enterprises. Thank you all for your questions and thank you for your introduction. That's the end of the press conference. Thank you.